boy E with Dem Boys Watch Footy. Hope everybody is doing well. Also, want to give a belated Happy Mother's Day to all mothers out there. We are now live for everything. All right. Yeah. Want to give a quick happy belated Mother's Day to all mothers out there. Um, want to thank everybody again for giving us a listen. We are growing slowly but surely. We have finally hit a very good mark over on the YouTube space, Spotify space. Still trying to get that Instagram number up, but everything is going well up to date. It is 3 weeks left into the European season. It's pretty crazy to see how the entire football season is coming to an end, especially the European side of it. Just want to kind of get into it, give us a quick overview of the past week's happenings. I know I got a lot of banter over YouTube, especially for both of my predictions. I had Arsenal versus Barcelona in the Champions League final. I did call Tottenham versus Manchester United in the Europa League final, but it is what it is on these types of days. It was a very tough one to kind of swallow. Arsenal, they did as best as they possibly could, but you can't even call out injuries at this point in the season just because everyone is injured, barring PSG. Their best player, Usman Dembele, he was he was on the bench. He was able to come back, but it was still something to see. Yeah, it's a really rough time trying to make sure that when you support a team like Arsenal, we know that we get all of the banter against us. Somehow we are the most hated squad, supposedly because our fans are some of the craziest. But overall, I don't think we're that terrible, you know. Um, but it is what it is. That is the history of Arsenal. And that's how we're kind of moving forward. Arsenal lost to PSG last Wednesday. Barcelona lost an amazing match to Inter Milan. And so we're going to probably do within our next couple of weeks, right before that final comes up. It'll be Inter Milan versus Paris Saint Germain. That'll be a quite amazing match to be able to take and watch. Two completely different styles, Italian versus French. You have quick counterattacking versus a very slow build up, but a very direct style of football from Inter Milan. Uh, their their final ended up being 7-6 on aggregate. Insane to think about, but that match just had it all. You had Lamine Yamal's full, just showing the world what he can do in amazing situations. You had Inter Milan just not taking no for an answer on losing that match, especially at home in front of their fans. You had a lot of different intrigue. You had Barcelona calling out for refereeing decisions, especially after all of the things that's been going on with them this season. Uh, Within La Liga, specifically the Real Madrid matchups that they had in El Clasico a few times this season, most notably the Copa del Rey, where their team actually posted an entire video of referee errors or set errors that they had for their squad. So it's very interesting to see like how they felt in the Champions League, feeling wronged, but then coming out and having a whole referee video showing everything that's bad with what's going on in the other spots. So it's I'm very excited that with this matchup you get to see two completely different sides. Everybody is very enamored with the Premier League. Of course, La Liga is globally regarded as the second best domestic league in all of the world, with Serie A and Liga Un coming up in third and fourth, respectively. I know Bundesliga will have something to say within that, but their squads fell out within the quarterfinal of the 2025 season, so that point is moot, I think. But what I'm really looking forward to see is how Inter Milan, their up top stable of Marcus Thuram, the French striker, as well as Lautaro Martinez, the Argentine striker, how that is going to keep them moving forward, going. within that final. And then I want to see what PSG's backline is going to do. Marquinhos, he had a few different things that were going to that he did his way very well. But you have some very good wing back play from the PSG side. You have Hakimi on the right, the Moroccan international. He was electric the entire Champions League campaign. And then as well, you had Nuno Mendes, Portuguese left back, who has really solidified himself as the best left back in football this season. He has started some notable right wingers. You had Mo Salah. You had Bukayo Saka. Uh, we'll see what they do within this matchup because PSG they love to counterattack, but they have to stifle on the wings first. Inter Milan love to play through the middle, and they bring up their center backs to actually play within those midfield slots. So it can confuse a lot of different teams if your tactics aren't correct. So I'm liking the chess match in between Inzaghi and Enrique as well. So it's a lot to come for with that match analysis coming up. But right now, just want to talk about the weekend and we how we want to move forward. So the best match of the weekend, we got to talk about it. Within La Liga, El Clasico. This one was to essentially settle La Liga. You had Barcelona coming in against Real Madrid. Barcelona had ended up losing over to Inter Milan midweek, and we didn't know if that hangover of was actually going to affect them. And Kylian Mbappe, he started off really strong, world record signer. Uh, for Real Madrid. I mean, he came on a free, but we know that signing bonus was legit. So you have Kylian Mbappe in the 5th minute getting a penalty, scorching that down. And then in the 14th minute, he made it 2-0. Suddenly, you're thinking Barcelona's really shook. That high line shouldn't be played. Something is going wrong. And then you have just a very cheeky goal from Eric Garcia in the 19th minute. That kind of started the floodgates of belief for Barcelona. You saw a much more determined side. You saw a side that was going to be playing. Everyone knew this was going to kind of be a rugby match. People were getting jumped on. People were getting tackled in some very awkward spaces. You had Valverde for Real Madrid throwing people down in the midfield. It kind of got a little bit crazy, kind of a little out of hand. But the referee was able to take in the reins a little bit. And then after that 2-1 spout, it was all Barcelona. Lamine Yamal, amazing curler. That man, just a golden left foot. Uh, I don't know what other superlatives you can say about Lamine Yamal. That kid is just amazing. So he brought it back level at 2-2, and then Rafinha, 2 minutes later, he ended up hitting the goal to go ahead, 3-2. And then it was the Barcelona show. You had Rafinha again making it 4-3, and then it got some nervy minutes. You had Mbappe scoring the hat trick in the 70th minute, and then you had a very nervy finish. You had a goal disallowed on the other end. From Real Madrid to tie it up, and people were still trying to figure out if that was really called a foul or not. But in this instance, we just got to call it for what it is, and uh, they weren't able to tie it. But Real Madrid really needed that win to really solidify their self within the title race within La Liga. That score right now within La Liga, the standings are just about done for those squads. Barcelona ended with the win 4-3 over Real Madrid, so Barcelona went up top. 82 points to 75 with Real Madrid with two more matches remaining. 2 or 3 more matches remaining. So the league is kind of sewn up right now for Barcelona to win the domestic double. The triple, as many of our commenters have said, I haven't included the Copa de España solely because it was a preseason tournament. But if Barcelona want to call this a treble, if their fans want to call this a treble, hey, more power to you. So yeah, I mean, it's I'm only thinking about where Real Madrid can kind of go from here. Barcelona, we know how they're going to play. Their squad is super young. Their squad is very young, very vibrant, very quick, very. They need better defenders, central defenders specifically. I'm not feeling the partnership that they have currently. Um, And that's something that Hansi Flick and the Barcelona board have to figure out moving forward. They already had an issue earlier this season with trying to register players, and we'll see really where Barcelona can kind of find their path forward. Andreas Christensen, coming over from Chelsea, he hasn't really been a mainstay within their center backing pair. And their other center backs do not give a thunder wonder to think about moving forward, especially with this high line. If you're going to play that dangerous, that close on the edge, you're going to need defenders that A, know how to track back, and then B, be able to make very quick decisions and the correct decisions within a very short split amount of time. So we'll see how Hansi Flick's recruitment over the summer is going to go. Real Madrid, they just announced that they have a new coach in Xabi Alonso, coming over from Bayer Leverkusen. Really big gift for them. He's been flirting with them for the past couple of years, but you couldn't get rid of the Don Carlo Ancelotti. He was going to be within that pairing for as long as he kept winning. There were a lot of cracks within what was going on with Real Madrid this season. Them crashing out of the Champions League against Arsenal, them losing the Copa del Rey final against Barcelona, them losing the Copa de España uh, to Barcelona as well, and now losing La Liga. He kind of lost his leeway. And Real Madrid, no matter what, they are always going to make sure that they are always on top. You have to, if you don't have the actual title glory, you have to have the vibes glory within La Liga, and Real Madrid is going to do that with Xabi Alonso. Very excited to see where they go. They have a new recruit coming in Trent Alexander-Arnold, and that kind of leads us into our next talking piece of the day. We have Liverpool versus Arsenal. Now, this match ended 2-2, and the football, it is what it was. The main talking piece that I want to keep on right now is Trent Alexander Arnold, patron of Liverpool's football club. He had been there since he was a young lad. He has won everything for that club. He's won the Champions League. He's won the Premier League now twice. He's a very integral part within the Premier League title challenges this season. He came up with timely free kicks, timely goals, very good assists. He played as best as he could within the constraints of injury that he could. And somehow, the Liverpool faithful, the people that keep saying you never walk alone, they booed the man. I couldn't believe it. They booed Trent Alexander Arnold. Now, as an American, watching watching players get booed every time they come onto the pitch. That is something. But every time that he's touching the ball, every time he is kicking a ball, he is getting booed by his own fans. Now, normally that is something that is only for opposition fans, for the uninitiated. Normally, that is something where if someone is taking a bad foul, but then someone either got booked off of that foul. I've seen it happen over at Ipswich, where their left back red carded against Bukayo Saka, and every time he touched the ball, their fans just decided to go haywire and boo, and it was some of the loudest boos. Now, Liverpool, every time Trent Alexander touched the ball, he got booed. He came on in the 65th, 70th minute, and he got booed. And it's just really sad where you're upset about a personal decision of trying to figure out something new in his life and in his professional career. Like, let's get rid of all the context of Liverpool weren't able to negotiate a better contract for him to be able to Liverpool to recoup any of their losses off of him because he's leaving on a free transfer to Real Madrid instead of sell off to Real Madrid. That could stoke a little bit of the flame, but that shouldn't matter within someone trying to better themselves or someone trying to have a better sporting opportunity. And that's where I kind of feel, especially where a club says you never walk alone, that sounds like the loneliest thing that you could ever have. And it's just something to kind of really look at moving forward with how players are going to be moving with different teams? Are you going to be able to even talk about your own contract situations without the fear of dealing with any type of fan backlash? Now, we know that players, they they're just as connected to social media as we are. They are very much dialed into what they need to talk about. They follow on TikTok. They do all the things people do on a normal basis, and I'm sure he's heard the discourse. But the fact that he is a kid from the area, he's been there since he was 5, and he's won everything. That man has done everything humanly possible to make Liverpool Football Club a better place than when he left, before he left it. And the fact that the fans are upset that much, where in a match that is tied 2-2, and he's coming on to help affect it to give you a chance to win the game against the opposition, and you boo him every time. Contextually, it just doesn't look right, especially when you have this whole community culture that you put forth online, or you put forth for everybody to become a fan of. So that's the only issue that I truly have over it. Arsenal, being an Arsenal fan for as long as been, I've been a part of the uh, Alexandra Nasri hate. I've been around the Robin Van Persie hate. I've been around the Adebayor hate of just players leaving before they needed to, and me not understanding at the time. Now, this is different for me. Just watching a kid actually win things, because during those times where all of those players left, they left to win things other places. Arsenal didn't win when they had them. And so that is my only misconception that I'm having right now. I would love to hear from our viewers and listeners when I clip this up. I would love to see how this kind of just gets greeted to you, because I just don't understand. I don't get it. Truly hopeful that he does the best, especially in that Real Madrid project moving forward. Chabi Alonso loves to play with very attacking wingbacks, and Trent Alexander Arnold just plays that to a T. Uh, at Bayer Leverkusen, you had Frimpong and Grimaldo, a left wing back, and a right wing back, coming over from Spain and the Netherlands. And Trent Alexander Arnold has better passing ability, has better free kick ability, and he has very good defensive positional sense. But within the Chabi Alonso 3-4-3 system, he's really going to thrive. So I'm very excited to see how that kind of moves forward. Now, I want to end on talking about how the Premier League is going to end this season, because there are some very interesting pieces of business that have to be fixed before these last two matches. So Liverpool, they've already won. Arsenal has already done the Guard of Honor. Arsenal so far is in second. Newcastle's in third. Manchester City is in fourth. Chelsea's in fifth. Aston Villa is in sixth. Nottingham Forest is in seventh. Now, Nottingham Forest, over the weekend, their owner decided to berate their manager on the field after you could see he was visibly perturbed that their squad that they drew one against Leicester City, and two, you're in the middle of a tight race for Europe, and I can understand why he was pissed off. But the fact that the manager who has brought your squad from the dregs of the Premier League last season, Nottingham Forest were very much slated to be relegated, and Nottingham Forest this season is in seventh. That is a huge change. I'm very positive no one picked Nottingham Forest within any bets or any preseason punditry to say that Nottingham Forest was going to end up with a European spot on the line. And it's very difficult to keep up a very strong title challenge or a European challenge within the Premier League. Some of these clubs have legit sovereign country wealth. Newcastle, their club is owned by Saudi money. Manchester City, you have Qatari money. Chelsea, formerly Russian money. Now it's in a very awkward space with American, with other entities kind of bundled in. Arsenal is American owned, but it's more so done through um, it's more so done through commercial ways, different types of commercial partnerships and different types of uh, community partnerships. So Arsenal is the vibes club. Liverpool, they're American owned as well, but a very different structure than Arsenal. Just looked at the Forbes top 10 teams within the league, within the world right now, within football. And Liverpool is ahead of Arsenal, even though Arsenal has all of the different types of uh, commercial partnerships involved. Liverpool, their ownership is from the Boston Red Sox, their ownership group, and they've done what they could, and they have a very strict way of doing business. That is, I don't know if we can point to the inability to keep Trent Alexander Arnold based off of that type of status quo that they try to keep, but that had to come into a few of the dealings that they dealt with. Now, Nottingham Forest coming from nowhere, and then suddenly you're in a race, and your owner just goes a little bit berserk on the pitch and starts. It looks like starting to have a little bit of an actual confrontation with your coach. That is a bad look. That is something that should never ever happen within Premier League football. We can see it in other places. We see it in Europe. In other European countries. We see it within uh, South American. We see it in Mexican. We can see it in Saudi. We can see it within African teams. The only reason why I say it shouldn't be seen within the Premier League is how much the media really influences and tries to get under the skin of every story. The English media is something I would never want to deal with if I had to be within the public limelight. Now, now you're just giving another reason for people to kind of come after you. And if your coach is already embroiled within a very tough season as it is, you have two matches left. You're in seventh place. You have a really strong chance to finish either in Europa League or you can finish over in the Champions League. Two matches, that's all that's needed. And you play against one of your rivals within the European slot race. So why do this now? You can either have that conversation. I get it. It's vibes. You feel as though, hey, look, you own the team. You're very much a part of it. And I'm not going to tell you how to feel. But I'm sure as a fan, you saw that your owner is berating the coach. Why would you want to stay? There's an issue for me. And Chelsea, they're having a very weird season. Um, I'm enjoying where the discourse is going. You're really looking at the board of directors as well as the recruitment policy instead of the coach. Usually with Chelsea before when Roman Abramovich was within power for Chelsea, he would always get rid of the coaches, and they would still have good success because the players that were there were very good. Chelsea, their recruitment policy has been under this new management has been to buy young and develop, but you don't give coaches enough time to develop. Mauricio Pochettino, now U.S. head coach of the U.S. men's national team, he was fired after season. And you had Graham Potter, he was fired after a season. So you have a very strong mix of like, hey, we need very quick results, but you're not giving anybody time to develop with the players. So I'm liking where the discourse is going. You have to start pointing fingers at the people that really need to be looked at. So you have Manchester City somehow drew against Southampton. Then their players are crying and crying foul that Southampton didn't want to play football. I mean, I saw the chances that Manchester City had watching that game live. They just couldn't score, and they felt as though Southampton should have just gave up points for them for a reason, so that they can stay within the European race that they have. Manchester City is still going to get a Champions League spot, but they could be in a better position. Getting second and getting fourth, we know that within the Premier League, you get money slotted off of where you finish off. So I would be upset too. They just went on a spending spree over the winter transfer period, and they wanted to recoup that money. If you get second place, I'm sure you get all of that money straight back into your coffers. But right now, we're really looking at Arsenal and Newcastle. Right now, Newcastle is going to be playing against Arsenal over the weekend, and that is a huge game. Very big ramifications. Newcastle has a chance to go second. Arsenal, who has been second for the last two seasons, now are fighting a very big battle to stay second within the season. Now, Arsenal has a few injuries, especially after this most recent match. We'll see what kind of is put forth from Mikel Arteta within his game plan moving forward. But Newcastle has had Arsenal's number over all of these years. I I'm very worried about what's going to be happening come Sunday, May 18th. It, Arsenal is very lucky that it's not in Tyneside. Like if you're at the Tune, um, those Geordies they get a little wild, and I'm lucky. I'm very sure Arsenal fans are very happy that it's going to be taking place at the Emirates. But Newcastle has had Arsenal's number. Newcastle knocked out Arsenal from one of the two semifinal losses this season. In the Carabao Cup. So we'll see what happens. For that match, I'll put forth a a 2-all draw between Arsenal and Newcastle, and that's just saying something right now. Newcastle, they're fighting for something, and whenever they play against the top competition, they usually show out. We saw it with the Carabao Cup win, and we'll kind of move forward from there. But yeah, we'd love to hear all of your thoughts. Hope everybody had a really great time, and looking forward to talking with you all again. It's Eric with Dem Boys Watch Footy. Enjoy yourselves.